Hello all, I'm Mark Wilkinson, middle school teacher at Shiwai International School. I teach social studies to grades 6 and 7 at the moment. Shiwai International School is in Shanghai, China, and the subject of today's vlog is technology in the classroom and its uses for teachers and students. Now, first of all, I want to talk about something called ITSE, which is the International Society for Technology and Education. And ITSE sets standards for students and educators when it comes to technology in the classroom. And it sets its standards quite high. It wants students to become more global, interactive learners. It even asks students to sort of create digital personalities online. And it wants its teachers to really become sort of leaders, analysts, facilitators in these sorts of things, and help students to become more global citizens when it comes to technology. Now, I've interviewed a few teachers here at Shiwai International School and asked them a few questions about what they actually think about technology in the classroom. And I've interviewed 4 teachers from different places. First one is from South Africa, one from America, one from England, and a Chinese teacher as well. Now, most offered glowing reports for uses of technology in the classroom, with many of the teachers saying that technology is essential and even the future of teaching. Tech that they've listed as using, though, are things like interactive whiteboards, though many express not so much. Things like PPTs, videos, flash games, audio recordings, and so on. None of these teachers have used any of the new technology that's available to anybody, such as iPads or laptops. One of the teachers had this to say about the future of technology, which I found quite interesting.
Briefly, I've used interactive whiteboards before, which are very useful, but I'd like to have more access to those, certainly. Obviously, teaching history, I think what would be an amazing, if we're talking about future tech,
future tech, yeah.
I think one of the big kind of things that's coming out in technology right now is virtual reality as an application of computers.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you have this thing called in cinemas in some of the big parks, like 60, where it has like wind machines and smells and things like that to kind of access. Obviously, this would be going very far into the future, but at the very least, an idea of virtual reality goggles could help you. Maybe you could really kind of help students to get an incredible feeling of maybe what the World War I was like or something, if they could do a virtual reality tour of maybe the trenches or something like that.
A general consensus was reached that technology helps with the logistics of lessons as well, and that while in the past teachers would write questions and answers on the board, now they can just show that sort of thing on a PPT, which cuts down the time writing things and cuts down teacher wastage time. Now, one teacher, Stephanie, also expressed that she used a phone to take video recordings, live video recordings of students' workbooks, and that would go on the TV behind her so everybody could see. So in effect, you wouldn't have all students sort of crowding around a book to check on a student's work, which I thought was brilliant, and I've never heard of it before, but I'll be definitely using it in the future. Now, a lot of these teachers acknowledge that technology should be used appropriate in the classroom, first of all, in order to further learning. And if you bring tech in just for the sake of using tech, it really doesn't facilitate learning in the slightest. With my interview with Will, again, he said this on videos on technology's limitations.
Well, I think the biggest one is if you rely on it and it doesn't work. I think every teacher who's gone into a classroom with a lesson prepared has found computer says no, PowerPoint not working, and then you learn how well you can adapt, basically. So I think the issue with technology is if you tend to rely on it too much, you can suddenly be at a loss when it does fail.
Certainly. Now, also, teachers feel that if students have access to technology in the classroom, they might also be playing games or not listening to each other. They might even end up chatting to each other, which might be... one teacher expressed that it might lead to them falling in love, which he thought was a really bad thing. Now, Will's presented me with one of the lesson plans that he's actually created himself, and it's a lesson on games. He's trying to teach game vocabulary to students who have quite good English in universities. Now, this lesson is mainly based around a PowerPoint. It's embedded with GIFs, videos, interactive questions, pictures, and an array of things. The lesson also includes listening activities in which the answers on screen are always present. I've included the link for the PowerPoint below. Now, is this a good lesson? Well, some good points that I like to say on this lesson is that the lesson is a lesson about technology, and it teaches using technology. I think a lesson on games wouldn't work so well unless there was an actual game present, which in this case there is. I also like the colour, the GIFs, the sound bites, everything works nicely to become interactive and fun. And the question and answer sections are presented in a logical manner and are hidden until a student response is given. So again, it's interactive and fun. What I didn't like so much about this is that it seemed teacher-centered for a long time, and the technology isn't at the students' fingertips and more at the teachers' fingertips. So the students don't get a chance to manipulate or create with the technology, but they only saw ways in which to manipulate the technologies. They didn't get to do it themselves. Now, that being said, this is actually a speaking lesson, and the objective is to be able to get the students speaking, so it works well in that case. So the eventual question, has this technology improved the lesson? The answer in this case is yes. The technology is a great complement to the aim of getting the students to speak as much as possible, and works very well. As well as this, some teachers have expressed that technology doesn't really make a teacher outdated. In the past, teachers have taught no problem. Technology should be a way to complement teachers as much as possible. Now, if you're a teacher thinking of using technology in the classroom, here are 5 questions you should be asking yourself. First of all, does this technology bring anything to the lesson? Does it need to be used? Second of all, does the use of technology need to be demonstrated, and how are you going to do that? Are the students going to use this technology in a safe and responsible manner, and how will you monitor the use of that technology? And lastly, and importantly, what are you going to do if that technology fails? How are you going to continue that lesson? Thank you very much for your time today.